On today's show, it's all about Bitcoin. Welcome to Financial Brew. My name is Candace, and as always, I will be your guide as we take one more trip into the financial verse. So today we are going to be talking about Bitcoin. If you are brand new to the channel and you love educational videos within the finance territory, then be sure to click on that subscribe down below. Hit the little bell too, because then you'll get a notification every time I come up with a bright idea, which is twice a week. When we talk about Bitcoin, to understand it, we need to go back to the blockchain, because it is all about the blockchain. So blockchain technology, it's been around about 30 years. And that's actually kind of interesting because it seems like it's only just recently been the talk of the town, so to say. It was initially conceived as a way to cryptographically secure data. That's kind of cool. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Now, somebody by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto came along. And Satoshi, we're not sure if it's actually an individual or if it's just sort of a name that was given to a group of individuals, because they became completely anonymous after they set up Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto adopted Bitcoin because it was the perfect fit for the development of a digital ledger, which is kind of cool. So the digital ledger, that whole idea led to the white paper for Bitcoin, which was published in 2009. Well, soon after that white paper in 2010, we actually had the very first Bitcoin purchase. It was for a pair of pizzas at Papa John's. 2 pizzas for only 10,000 Bitcoin. Those have got to have been the most expensive pizzas in the history of pizzas. Holy pizza dough. How does blockchain work? In a nutshell, it is a hacking-resistant, decentralized database of correlated blocked data. Holy banana bread, that's a mouthful. Well, it's actually quite easy, and I'm going to show you a little demonstration here to sort of show you exactly how it works. So to start off, we start in a database with an address, which is, we're going to call it a block. So it's a block that's designed to hold a specific amount of data. Initially, when we start, that block of data, well, there's nothing in it. So we'll start to add some data to it. And of course, we're going to have each block, the data in it needs to be correlated. So it needs to be all the same thing. Well, not exactly the same thing. It can be different things, but it has to be related. It has to be relatable to that block. So we'll add some more data, and we'll add a bit more data. And let's add some more data. Uh-oh. It looks like our block is full. So what we can now do is we can open up another block. Now, because the data going into the second block is related to the data in the first block, we need to chain them together. And you'll also notice too that we've made that first block, because it's full, read only. So that data is now permanent data. It cannot be changed. And now we have a brand new block, and they're chained together, so we know they're connected. We can start adding data. And that's how it works. We chain these data blocks together, and that's what forms the blockchain. Ooh. So you can sort of see that this is the correlated blocked data part. Why is the blockchain so secure? This all ties into the whole concept of decentralization. So in the case of the blockchain, it's not kept on a single database. That is why it is so much more secure. In reality, it's actually more than 10,000 active nodes. So the blockchain is spread across quite a few number of databases, computers, servers, all of that fun stuff. Whenever there is new data to be added to the blockchain, so let's say, for example, you went and bought some Bitcoin, well, that transaction has to get recorded onto the actual blockchain. So that data then has to be synced across all of these nodes. Now, normally, when you make a purchase of Bitcoin, you will not receive it right away. If you're buying it from an exchange, yes, it'll appear like it's yours instantly, but that's because they're basically just giving you their Bitcoin because they already have the Bitcoin. Here's the interesting thing. If we want to make changes to that blockchain, it needs to be made to 51% of those nodes. So if you remember, I was saying that we have more than 10,000 active nodes. So more than 5,000 of those, that change needs to occur in for it to actually be recorded onto the blockchain itself. So if you are that hacker, you would have to, well, you would need to hack more than 5,000 nodes at the same friggin' time. When we think of scarcity, it's simply, you need to understand how Bitcoin is mined. So first of all, Bitcoin is mined by computers. It's mined in such a way that the computer is actually solving very complex mathematical problems. And as they solve them, they're then rewarded Bitcoin in exchange for solving them. These problems were very easy problems, but as we progress longer and longer into the whole process, the problems keep getting more and more complicated. And the amount of Bitcoin they reward gets halved every couple of years. And it's an event called the halving. So when things get halved, sometimes as well, that can be a big influence on the price of Bitcoin, which is kind of cool. But here's the interesting thing. As these problems get tougher and tougher, there is an end. And that end is an absolute limit of 21 million Bitcoin. So that's as much as we can mine. After that, there is no further Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is scarce. And that's also why it's an incredibly good store of value, because where we have a limited supply, it is only going to get more and more valuable as more and more people adopt it. Now, the interesting thing about Bitcoin is because of it being so expensive, most people can't just sort of buy a Bitcoin. They just don't have enough money. So we buy fractions of a Bitcoin known as Satoshi or sats. Some people will call it sats. You'll hear it. Like when people talk about shake pay, it's, oh, I'm shaking for my sats. So you'll hear sats as well as Satoshi. So one Bitcoin is basically equal to, well, not basically, it is exactly equal to 100 million Satoshi. So that means that one sat is equal to 0.000000001 Bitcoin. And you will see those fractions around. And keep in mind, with only 21 million of these, once we get deeper into the future, it's going to be rare to find anybody who has a full Bitcoin. So we will be dealing in Satoshis, and Satoshis will be very, very valuable as the entire net worth of Bitcoin increases and the market cap flies off the shelf as we become more and more of a store of value. Now, there are two other little things that I want to sort of hit on with Bitcoin in this overview, and that is Lightning and Taproot. Now, what exactly do I mean by Lightning? To understand Lightning, first of all, you need to understand that Bitcoin is considered to be a layer 1 technology. So it's like ground level. We do have a layer 0 technology in Polkadot, but we're not going to really touch on that in this video. That's probably coming up in a future video, so make sure you subscribe for that, of course. So Bitcoin is considered to be a layer 1 technology. The Lightning Network is put on top of that as a layer 2 technology. So what exactly does it do? Well, it allows off-chain transactions. These are very fast and they're peer-to-peer. So in a way, it's kind of almost like loading up a prepaid card. So a specific amount is added to the Lightning Network. You can then make transactions within that amount. And then at the very end of the transactions, it's all added up and it's all added to the blockchain at once. So it's very efficient. But what it does allow is it allows very, very fast transactions. You don't want to be going into, for example, to buy a coffee and have to wait for 30 minutes for the transaction to get confirmed on the blockchain. This provides a workaround to that. It's very efficient. They're actually using this in El Salvador. So it is a really good layer 2 technology for Bitcoin. Now we also have Taproot. Now, Taproot is the latest upgrade to Bitcoin. It actually just went live, so it is brand new. It does batch transactions, thus it makes it easier and faster to verify on the blockchain. So it will batch the transactions as well as the signatures, which is, you can think of those as being hashtags. All of that, it batches all of it when it brings it onto the network. So it allows it to be moved on in one swoop, opposed to a whole bunch of confirmations, which basically means less congestion on the network. That's also going to lead to, of course, lower fees when it comes to confirming anything on the blockchain. It also will increase the privacy, and this has to do with the batching of signatures, because somebody looking at a signature, they can't see them clearly. They're not sure if it's an individual or if it's a batched group of signatures. So it makes it very difficult for somebody to be, up to no good on the blockchain trying to figure things out. In addition, it also sets a framework for smart contracts. To be clear, we don't yet have smart contracts on Bitcoin, but it is coming, and it's going to be one of those things that makes Bitcoin a huge contender to move into decentralized finance. So it's going to be massive for Bitcoin. Lastly, on our trip here to learn a little bit about Bitcoin, how do we buy it? You can buy Bitcoin, of course, on ShakePay or any other exchange. It is a staple. With ShakePay, I do like it. For now, they have a really good promotion on, so they will give you $30 free when you sign up and fund your account with $100 using, of course, a referral code. I have a referral code in the more info down below. So if you don't have ShakePay, go down there, grab that referral code, sign up. You'll get $30 free. I'll get $30 free too. It's a win-win scenario for both of us. Keep in mind, if you don't want the Bitcoin, you can always buy your $100 worth of Bitcoin and then sell it right away and take your $30 free and take it all back to your bank account. You can do that, but it is a good investment, so I would recommend keeping it, but that's entirely up to you. I am not, of course, a financial advisor, as our little disclaimer on the side says. So anyway, I just want to thank you for dropping by the Financial Brew. My name again is Candace, and thank you for taking another ride with me into the financial verse. I'll see you next time. Take care.